fingers. Hello.
Hello. I told Sarah she needs to medicate that poor finger because, my God, she's walking around in pain all the time.
Here's the thing. It's like, it's my own, the stigma that I have or my own feeling about my finger. It's the fact that I didn't need this much pain medication for a radical hysterectomy.
Yeah.
That my
can see
mind
that.
like can't figure that out. My mind's like, you just were like skinned on the inside.
Yeah,
And-
but it's that whatever you called it.
Yes,
picture.
that homunculus picture. And the whole, like, the fingers do hurt the worst. And it's just like, I can't mentally get over that. And this thing is just, the fact that I am being taken down by a fucking finger is just ridiculous. So, you know, my mom's like, you need to sleep and you need to rest and just, like, take the painkillers. And I'm like, but no, I can't do anything. I can't
agree.
go anywhere. I can't drive. I'm just, like, stuck if I do that.
Well, welcome to Brain Kitty Podcast, episode 850. Poor Sarah. If it's not one thing, it's the other.
No, I don't feel bad for me. Don't at all.
do.
Don't, because guess what? Somebody gave me one of the best compliments I think I've ever received in my life this weekend when I was at the event.
I'm already jealous.
Yeah, you will be jealous of this one.
Okay.
Sarah of all ages and times was jealous of this one. Someone asked me if my hair was mine.
That is hashtag goals.
I mean, they were like, is it all yours? Oh. Implying that it could maybe be extensions or not mine. I mean, you might as well just tell me I won the lottery.
Real.
Hello?
Nobody asked me anything like that because they know I bought everything. Everything that's attractive, bought and paid for.
Bought and paid for.
Oh my God, Sarah!
But can you believe that?
Congratulations.
Thank you. It almost makes up for the time when my brother told me I was a brunette. And I just about died. And I was like, I just paid so much money to a blonde specialist, I'll kill you.
Listen,
Do not tell my color specialist, Ellen, that. Shout out to Ellen.
Brothers do not count.
Right, they don't.
They have like sister blindness. It's weird.
Yeah, he was like, you're a brunette. And I was like,
oh, okay. Well, you're dead if you say that one more time.
Dirty blonde headed mouth, is what I said to him.
Truly disgusting.
Yeah. So
Fuck
that
them.
was highs and lows over here, So finger may be hurting, but
she's hopped up on painkillers, hopefully.
But I'm hopped up on painkillers. Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah. So Susie was telling me that I just need to like take them, and so I did.
Sarah
so at some point in time during this episode, they will kick in, and
Sarah's one of those people though that needs to be prodded for self-care. I am not. I do that naturally. But Sarah, however, she like white knuckles her way through life.
Yeah, I am starting to get better. I am. I really am. I do. I know it doesn't seem like that, but because here's where we're at. Where before I was like white knuckling it with no awareness of what I should be doing. Now I have an awareness of what I should be doing. I'm holding myself to like the rest a little more, I'm staying in, I'm getting the good night's sleep, I'm going to bed early, I'm like doing those kind of things. Mm-hmm. And so, but I'm resistant to it. I think that's what
you
we're saying.
have to be persuaded. And
Yeah,
I
have to be persuaded. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's true. So I am getting better because at least I'm holding myself to it. I just still need to be persuaded. But I'm just here to be a model for people and show people that, it's hard being a person, and we're all just trying over here.
Yeah,
and
that is for sure. Yep, that's what I was trying to say last week when I was talking about my one pull-up. It's like, we're just doing the best we can over here.
Hey, how's that going? Did you try my Take
well,
my
you
advice?
never sent me the video.
Oh
that
my
you said
God.
You would.
You're so right. Susie, I almost said Sarah. Like I'm punishing myself. I am in my head. I'm like, Sarah. That's exactly what I'm doing.
No,
okay,
but it's okay.
Send Susie, because I didn't write it down. and that's what happens.
I do want a little commotion for these muscles if you're watching.
Wow!
I mean, for real.
Oh my gosh!
This is action.
Suze,
I still can't do one, but
that is a lot of action. I'm telling you, you just need to know how to arrange your muscles.
The motion.
And you almost need, when I'm there, I'm going to point to the place on your back where you should be flexing, like what muscle to use. Because sometimes it's as simple as that. Tell Adam to do that. Be like, Adam, point. Like
when
touch
I told
the
my
muscle.
trainer, I explained what the problem was, and and she adjusted my workouts.
Oh,
and
good.
Believe me, I'm sore AF.
Good.
So
that's
I think
such a great feeling.
I'm on track. It's fine, and maybe I'll even do 2. Who knows?
Oh, you're going to. You're going to crush it.
Not
You're
worried.
You're definitely going to do this. It's going to be
I'm
awesome.
excited about it.
Yeah. And when I come and visit you, we're going to go to the gym every day so you keep that streak up, because I am going to get these ankles stable. We are working on stability and strong so that I don't injure myself snowboarding or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, then you should come. You asked me to come Tuesday or Wednesday. Come Tuesday. Come Monday.
Yeah. I'll
Come tomorrow.
I'll just live there. It's fine.
I mean,
move in.
I have been kind of planting that seed for a while,
Move in.
but
Just move in. What's the difference?
I'm just waiting for you to take the bait.
If you didn't, I looked into, because I was thinking, my ski pass that I have happens to work at a lot of the mountains in, where the hell do you live? What state? Pennsylvania. And I always think of Pittsburgh as its like own place.
Yeah.
So it's hard. I always have
That's
to
right.
like get the running start. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's right, Pennsylvania. So I looked, those mountains suck.
Yeah, they're not the biggest.
And
We're
they're
at the tail end
icy
of the
and,
old
like,
Appalachians.
And when I saw some video of guys like, I went down this and it got really steep, and I was like, oh my God, that's our bunny hill. No, I can't. I can't. I got to stay in. This is where I belong.
Yeah, listen.
This is my place.
John Denver ain't full of shit.
Oh, that's right.
Rocky Mountain High, we don't have that.
Yeah. Rocky Mountain High. That is what it is. It's great up here.
Yeah, he wasn't kidding.
I'm so happy here. Anyways.
I want to tell you before you start your thing.
Dive into it.
We have an update on the serial pooper.
Oh, tell me everything. Am I right? Tell me everything.
You are not.
Oh, God. Dang it. Fuck.
Yeah.
I hate being wrong.
I actually, as you know, was persuaded by you saying what you said about how, like,
It seemed personal.
yeah, and the victim was insisting on being anonymous.
It was probably, that he probably was asking for her some way, or we
And I
should
was like, yeah, there's more to this story. There is more to the story, but I don't know why they wanted to be anonymous. It turns out one of our brainiacs, thank you for sending me the update, which is that the perpetrator happens to be somebody on the spectrum.
Oh.
And so the authorities are not saying who it is and not pressing charges.
Okay.
It's somebody who is in distress.
Okay.
I am still fascinated and would love to hear from that pooper and find out like how they picked that porch.
Yeah, that's...
And like it was in the middle of the night and stuff like that. So like I would we're never going to hear the full
there's
story.
more to the story for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, my fan fiction was
that's
fun.
right. Well, no, you actually could be right.
Yeah.
Just because they're on the spectrum doesn't mean there
Doesn't
wasn't
mean
an
that other guy's
agenda.
off the hook.
Yeah.
Right. We just have more to the... Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so maybe it was a vendetta and on the spectrum.
Yes.
We will never know.
Yeah. You know?
But thank you for
Okay.
the Brainiacs for coming through because that really was a stumper.
What a fun story. And if you are in our book club,
Yes.
then that story oddly relates and connects to our book club book because of why he maybe got off.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yes. Because you know what?
It's such
We're
a good
all going
book.
through
I don't
stuff.
I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah, like our histories and our circumstances do inform the choices we make.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. I didn't mean to derail.
No. Oh my gosh, please. Could you imagine if every time I derailed the conversation, I had to say that? It would just be clips over and over.
Your derailments
and
are
over.
our show.
I'm about to derail it with this one thing about me saying something over and over. I saw something was, because I just did a challenge appearance.
Yeah.
And somebody said, oh yeah, we should have her back on the challenge, like they do. And then somebody else said, no, because then they're going to do an annoying montage of her just saying, this changes everything.
Good. We need
And I was
promotion.
like, he's not wrong. They will do that, and I will do that. And
yeah,
so,
you have
anyways.
to be almost annoying about like how frequently you say it if you went back.
And I do say that a lot. Okay. Anyways, we're not talking about any of that today. We're talking about so many fun things.
Okay.
So many brainy things.
Love it.
Yes. Wait. Whoa. All right. First one. Did you see this? Stanford University researchers have used a yellow food dye found in Doritos to make the skin of mice transparent.
Can you believe this?
Susie, what is happening? And we're putting that in our bodies? Please help me. Please,
Okay.
we can't do that.
So for you, it feels like it cannot be.
Well, I don't rub tomato sauce on me and turn see-through.
Yeah.
I don't think
But-
there's anything else. It's this chemical called tartrazine. And they applied the solution to mice's heads, abdomens, hind legs, and it made it possible for their underlying blood vessels, muscles, and organs to become visible. I'm sorry.
Did they explain how that happened?
No, not in the article I read, but I'm
Yeah.
sure in other ones they do. But I just looked at, a couple like NPR article and a few other ones, and then just I had a hard
It's
enough time
really
pronouncing the
crazy.
chemical alone.
What? I mean,
This is banned in other countries.
Dorito dust?
There is that ingredient in particular. And
Do you think it's like regular or Cool Ranch? It's regular.
No, it's nacho.
Yeah. Regular.
Oh.
Nacho. That's what I mean. That's the
Nacho's
original
regular?
flavor.
I
Yeah.
would say Cool Ranch is original.
It's not. You crazy? That is the spin-off.
What?
Are you crazy?
You think standard Dorito is just nacho Dorito? It is.
Yeah.
You're right.
The
Huh.
original Dorito
That's
is
actually
the
a good
orange.
question.
It's not a question. It is a statement that
I don't know. It feels like Cool Ranch should be the standard.
Well, it's
the
improved.
superior
it's
one.
better. It's sort of like the Godfather. Like the second one's better.
Okay, so you're saying, see, in my mind there was like an original chip and then it was kind of like
No, the original
like
was
plain.
nacho. Listen,
and you know how there's sour cream and onion, and then like cheddar.
there is not sour cream and onion.
No, I'm
Doritos.
talking about the equivalent to potato chips, like the nacho.
Ruffle.
Yes, yes, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Okay, well, this is something you should defer to me on as you
Totally.
refer to me, WT Susie.
yes,
White trash, no. Mountain
Yes.
Dew, Cool Ranch, the best. However, Cool
yeah.
Ranch is the spinoff to the Nacho Dorito.
Okay, good to know. Well, nacho ones are the ones that are turning the mice transparent.
Wonder why? What's your theory if you had to say, like, why is that happening? That's wild.
It has something to do with how the light is.
Refracted.
Yeah.
Yes. Because in the article I
That's
read,
what
it
it
was
said.
explaining why our skin isn't always translucent. It was
Yeah.
saying like something that happens with the molecules in our skin when light touches it hides what's behind it. So whatever is in the Dorito dust
Yeah.
cancels out that function. That
It's
is
wild.
crazy.
Is that not insane? And here's this sounds like something of like throwaway science fiction, or when we had talked about those awards that they give out. I can't remember what they're called. They're very funny. It's like the Nobel,
the
Ing Nobel
hasty
Prize.
Oh, yes.
That's like the
NG.
funniest, the funniest research projects that were done. This sounds like one of those kind of things. What in reality, this breakthrough has so many future applications and medical like diagnostics and surgeries. And could you imagine what it would be like to be able to look underneath the skin without, this is totally going to happen. And then you see all those future.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that junk food, I get the eyes of the mantis shrimp, being able to look at like neon lights or like so certain like bioluminescent lights or whatever, make things like cancer cells glow radioactively so we can like see those different. I totally get it. It like exists in the animal kingdom. But Doritos, I did not see this one coming.
I know. Tip of the hat. Tip of the hat to Doritos.
And I feel like in a previous episode, I was just like poo-pooing junk food and saying it's terrible and disgusting. But if it leads to scientific breakthroughs, I mean...
Yeah, unintended consequences. I love Doritos with all my heart, but almost as much as that, I love Nurture Life food for kids. This is like a delivery service where you get meals for like 10 months, I think it is, to 10 years. But they're great for all ages, if I'm honest, because these are really nice, delicious, never frozen by the time they come to you. You can freeze them after you get them if you want. But they are just fresh and delicious. And they have, I always like prefer the meatball ones, like Swedish meatballs and stuff like that. They have pasta. Of course, they have like chicken nuggets and stuff like that. But they have healthy, fully cooked, ready to serve in like 1 minute food for your kids. And it is such a pain in the butt to feed kids. I swear. It's like the worst part of being a parent.
It's also the worst part about being a human is having to feed myself and decide.
I'm like, again?
Like, really?
I know. I feel that way too. And they
want
the cooking
variety?
for you.
What? So this fixes that.
It's about time that a flexible meal subscription existed for babies and kids. So head to nurturelife.com and use code BRAINCANDY for 55% off your first order. That's right, 55% off. Once again, that's nurturelife.com for 55% off. Make sure you use our promo code BRAINCANDY so they know we sent you. But honest to God, they
Swedish meatballs.
It's the best.
Yeah, I love those ones.
Corn dogs. Don't sleep on those babies. Okay, Sarah, go ahead.
So I can't even believe this. And the other day I was walking through the grocery store and there were these two women and they were having, like a gal's night. And one of them was like, "Ooh, I want some Doritos." And she goes, "I want to get those because I don't allow my kids to eat those."
Exactly.
And I thought that was so funny that she didn't allow her kids to eat them. But on her girls' night where like she could do whatever she wants, she's grabbing the food that she doesn't allow her children to eat.
For real, that's all of us.
It's getting, I really feel like one of these days I need to give in to my urge to eat Lucky Charms because those have been calling my name for a minute.
What are you waiting for?
I don't know. Just like.
You feel guilty?
I will eat the whole box. No, I don't feel guilty. It's just like, you try to like not put myself on a sugar high. Like I have no off switch with that.
Have you seen that they sell like just the marshmallows?
That sounds delicious.
I know. Because
what about I don't want those in my coffee or something?
Oh, yes.
Or hot chocolate with those?
Hell yeah.
Okay, that sounds so good.
Yeah, I don't know where you can buy them, but I've seen this, that you can buy just the marshmallows with those disgusting, like, Cheerio parts.
Yeah, who cares about that? Yeah.
We're all working around those anyway.
Definitely. That is, It's just like, it's kind of like the other stuff in the trail mixed with the M&Ms. Anyways, I have so many more fun facts to tell you.
Yes,
I read, I got an old, like physical copy of Psychology, like a magazine, which is so nice. Such a treat when you do that, right?
Yeah.
Psychology Now, it's called. And they had this whole section about the brain. And it went into so much detail. I mean, this is the Brain Candy podcast. So, hello, we got to talk about the brain. Mm-hmm. It went into so much detail. We think we know how powerful the brain is, but every now and then I just forget. It is, when it puts it into perspective or really lays it out for me, like these articles do, it always shocks me. So, it seems like all these AI computers and our supercomputers are getting faster and faster and faster. Researchers were studying how fast the brain really computes things and processes information. And they studied, they were like flashing images in front of a person's brain and then, I don't know, making connections from it. And they had estimated how fast the brain processes things. And turns out the study showed it was 10 times faster than they had even estimated. And the brain is 30 times faster than our best supercomputers right now. What do you mean
brain?
30 times faster?
I don't think so.
I don't even know how that works.
And like, have you met people?
I know. And so this article was so great. One of the things that it mentioned that really made me think is it talked about how we don't have control over our bodies in reality.
Yeah, I
that
feel that
so
way.
much of the body's
Processes.
yeah
Yeah.
are out of our control and we don't
Yeah.
even think about.
Yeah,
And
they're going rogue.
totally, like, voluntary actions such as moving your hands or like anything that you want to do is going to come from the cerebral cortex. It has to pass through a certain place in the brain. But all of these other like autonomous kind of things,
Yeah.
they bypass that area and they happen in this deeper part of the brain, more towards the brainstem, which then makes me think like it just
Yeah.
how the small amount of our actions that are really in our control. And then it reminded me of you know what I'm going to say?
Yep, Robert Sapolsky.
Yes.
Determined.
Yes.
It is freaking me out. Not
Susie,
a day goes by.
all of this freaked me out
Yeah.
too. The other fun fact that I loved in this article, what is brain freeze? Yeah, you experienced brain freeze, right?
Yeah, you get the different one.
Yes, you and
Throat.
your son and I both experienced this. Frozen
Yeah.
throat, we called it. But it makes sense when I read this. So,
Because
Brain-
most people get brain freeze, but then
Yes.
there's like a smaller percentage get throat freeze.
yes. I
Which
call it
you and
frozen
Lincoln
throat.
have.
Yeah, and we're always like, oh, and you look at us like we're weirdos.
Yeah,
But,
what is that?
so the brain can't feel pain, which also I
Yeah.
did not even know.
Well, you know how like when they do brain surgery, but they have people playing the violin?
Yes, it makes
Yeah.
sense, but it's wild. How come? That's wild.
There's
you
no-
mean to tell me
there's no
this
pain-
fucking finger hurts like this?
Yeah.
Where I'm taking pain pills 2 weeks later because this thing is like taking me down. Mm-hmm. And you can like go in and poke and prod
Yeah,
inside my brain.
surgery, no problem.
No problemo. That
Yeah.
is freaking
Because
wild.
there are no nerves, pain receptors or whatever in the brain. Isn't
makes
that
sense.
crazy?
Well, because there are no pain receptors in there, it has this outer covering that does feel pain. And when the blood flow to that area changes, it can hurt. So the main artery that supplies the brain is now I'm going to have to pronounce this. I know this one. Carotid artery. I just had to sound it out. Carotid artery, which looks very different when you read it than I've heard every doctor say on the doctor shows. So the carotid artery, it runs through the neck and close to the blood vessels inside the mouth and throat. And when the blood here gets cold, the anterior cerebral artery behind the eyes starts to widen. Warming the mouth lets the blood vessels return to normal, helping the pain subside. So we just get it in our mouth. It like doesn't pass. It's almost like our throat warms it up before it allows it to go to the carotid artery. Or like it just warms up that part.
So what does that mean? You're like more evolved?
I don't think that. I just think maybe it could be like we have larger tongues or something like that. It could be maybe like that. Or he still has his tonsils, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to do a poll. Something
I don't
like that.
need to do a poll about something called Thrive Cosmetics because it would be real easy. 100% of people that have tried Thrive Cosmetics love
Yes.
it with all their heart.
Did you see those red lips? I did not reapply one time all day during Challenge Mania. A, because I forgot my lipstick in the green room. And B, because I didn't even need to.
Yeah, because she was using the Empower Matte Precision Lip Crayon. Thank
so
you,
good.
Thrive. It is amazing. You put it on. Yeah. It stays for 12 hours. It does not feel like cement or garbage. And you look like frickin' Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah. And you know, though, that there's that, it's almost like a blue base to a red. It's like a red that makes your teeth look whiter. I don't know how to describe
that cool
it. But
tones, warm tones thing. I didn't even know the difference, but yeah.
That it looks good on everyone. It totally makes your teeth look whiter. That's why I always like slap on the red lip when I go to these
that is so
events.
Smart.
Because I'm like, oh, I'm going to look like I've got a pearly white smile. So don't sleep
Sarah
on Linda.
Is always thinking, don't sleep on Linda. You can sleep with Linda.
Yes.
And you should use the Lash Extensions mascara, which is a tubing mascara. It's outstanding. Their Brilliant Eye Brightener. The Sheer Strength Hydrating Lip Tint, which is different from the one Sarah was wearing, which is more of a cream-based tint. Really beautiful and great for fall. They have really beautiful fall colors. Spice up your fall look with Thrive Cosmetics, luxury beauty that gives back. Right now, you can get an exclusive 20% off your first order at thrivecosmetics.com/braincandy. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/braincandy for 20% off your first order. And you can always find those codes on our website, thebraincandypodcast.com.
So, fun facts about the brain. Loved it. Just loved learning about the brain. Candy and brain.
Stop it.
I know, I'm just teasing. There was also an article in there that talked about shyness that was really interesting.
Tell me.
Yeah, you know, one of the things
Shy people drive me nuts.
Oh, really? Why?
I know. Isn't that mean? Because
kinda.
they seem like the nicest, and I'm just like, come on.
I think you should read this article, and maybe it'll help.
Okay, that's why I want to know what it says.
You kind of like understand maybe shy people a little more, like what that is. In the article, they talked about how, you know, so many different kinds of people suffer from shyness, and even celebrities. And one of the examples they gave was Kim Kardashian. And I thought it was an unfair example because it feels like she's in another, and it's where I kind of push back on this article, because it feels like she's in another category of shyness.
She's a whole different ballgame.
Her, like they said, like Kim Kardashian is like a notable example of a shy celebrity, but I feel like it's her being so caught up with how others perceive her that it gets in the way of her ability to be present and enjoy
she can't move in the
moment.
world.
Yeah, that it prevents her from fully enjoying herself is like what I was writing down. Okay, so what happens with people who are shy is shyness results in something called habituation failure. So in most people, we're supposed to habituate to certain experiences, and then it becomes easier and easier. So for example, public speaking. You'd get up and you'd talk in public, and then you get used to it. It becomes easier. People who are shy take much longer to adapt to new situations, and as a result, they get caught in this cycle of avoidance and this habituation failure that then leads to increased anxiety, and it becomes this cycle that people get stuck in. So a lot of it stems from these moments of hesitation and feelings of low self-confidence that we experienced when we were younger, or maybe we had caregivers who failed to encourage us in those ways or made us feel like we couldn't do it. And so that hesitation and the worry that enters into the mind in that moment of hesitation is what creates that cycle. And they also said overprotective parenting. So you could be annoyed at that.
And so do you feel compassion?
I feel compassion and understanding that it's different. It's almost like, in a way, like I don't want to say phobia because that confuses it with social anxiety, which is like another branch and its own thing. Yeah. But it feels like they they don't have the standard path towards habituation in the same way that a normal brain would. I think I have a brain that habituates quickly, that gets used to things very fast.
That's
almost
why
like,
I love you.
I think that's it. I think that they're understanding that this is a scale. I'm gonna phrase it differently. Instead of calling it self-absorption, I will call it you are being hijacked by a brain that is feeding you incorrect information. And you're struggling to take control over that brain that's been hijacked. That I see, because
But it feels a little bit different than OCD, which is similar. Like your brain's been hijacked by false information, that this is a threat when it's not.
But I think physiologically it doesn't feel the same. I think it's hard. I think if you were to attach them to monitors and stuff, that like the biofeedback, it would look the same. And if you look at because I'm thinking it's almost like that public speaking, how people would rather die,
like that. Because it is like, it's like how OCD is a threat. Like this germ is a threat when it isn't.
Yes.
And with shyness, it's like the ridicule is a threat when it isn't.
Bingo.
Okay.
Bingo. Yes. So that's why the solution to this, the whole what helps is CBT. This is what that cognitive behavioral therapy and going in and work with somebody like me is going to help retrain that brain and take back control, get in the driver's seat, because it's like something else has hijacked that brain.
I got there.
Okay. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Good job, Sarah.
Good job, Susie. I knew we'd come around. So
I can be persuaded always.
For those people who are like, well, now I'm shy to talk about how I'm shy because Susie just chewed my head off.
No.
I
just like to be convinced. I just like to be convinced.
Of course. And we did it. Yeah. So how do you overcome shyness? You're going to love this one because it's exactly what you're saying. Act confident, even if you're not.
That's what we're all fucking
what you
doing,
want
by the
is
way.
the confidence. And I said this in This Changed Everything podcast that, well, I didn't say this. One of my guests said this, and now I've since repeated this 1,000 times because it's so great. Courage comes before confidence.
Absolutely.
What you really don't worry about being
100%.
confident. Let go of being confident. That's hard, actually.
Be brave.
But can you be brave?
Yeah.
Can you be courageous? Can you be? Yes. You've done way more. You've done things that are way harder, and you had to be way braver for. So you could do this thing that just takes some courage. So first, have courage. Do the thing. That's how we break that habituation failure thing.
That is why I chose to do stand-up comedy, because I felt that if I could do that, I could do anything.
Yes.
Because the amount of courage that required, and I am not kidding you, that was the hardest thing I've ever done.
You're so good at it.
No, but nothing else felt hard after that, because it's like, that was hideous. This is like fine.
Right. That's kind of, I get that.
Do the hard thing, man.
Yes. What else you can do? Try new things and push your comfort zone. Mm-hmm. Exactly what you're saying. Reframe.
It's hard for them, though. They can't get there sometimes.
Right. That's why we need support. That it's and it's baby steps. It's really, you have to do small things. Reframe your thinking to be kinder to yourself, and stay present in social situations. Because we usually will get into our head.
Oh.
And you're not actually present.
So you think like, I don't want to say this or that.
Worrying about, what do I look like? Did I say the right thing? Am I going to say this dumb thing?
For these people, because we all have that to a degree. Like you said, it's a spectrum.
Totally.
But what do they think is the worst thing that can happen?
They're going to say something dumb, and then people are going to they see that as social rejection. So if
Why
you see
is that such a big deal, though?
Because that is safety. That is acceptance and safety. If your biggest fear, if deep down, if you look at what you are longing for, and what you're longing for is acceptance, and
you're saying this is evolution. This is just like, you're not in the tribe anymore. You're going to die.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And that brain feels like that. And we're talking, it's most like survival.
Yeah. I'm not worthy. I will die.
I'll die alone.
Okay.
It goes straight to that. And that is what happens when we really play out these thoughts. Okay, then what? Then what? Then what? Then what? And we do this so that the client can go, and this is what CBT is. And that the client can go, oh my God, right. And then they usually laugh because it's like, that's crazy. And then we go, well, what do you want to think instead?
In this category.
Right.
Like every human being has these irrational behaviors, including me. I'm not.
Totally. Same. That's why I always say it's like I'm teaching people as I'm learning and doing. I'm doing all this. I got to do so many things to hijack this old noodle. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say about shy people, but it was a good article, interesting. Okay. And those little lessons and how to basically just like have some courage to be confident and then check in with the thoughts, be present. This was fun. I watched a documentary on competitive tablescaping.
Oh my God. Is this at like fucking fairs?
Yes.
Yes.
And it took place at the Orange County Fair, so I had to watch it because we've seen this. We've walked through the whole setup.
Yes,
and every single fucking time. Oh, Suze, it's worth the watch. It really is. It cost me like 99 cents to like get a
worth every
discover
penny.
Totally worth it. I really did enjoy this documentary, and it's so silly.
Tell me what you learned, because who are these bozos that are like, this is my thing?
They're the exact, it's so funny. It's the exact same type that's at, remember you talked about a documentary about competitive, like dog grooming or something like that?
Yeah.
It's going to be the same type. They're quirky people who get really into it, and I would say this has the competitive tablescaping world has a level of pettiness and
judgment,
scorn. There was one scene where this woman announces, I don't want to be that bitch who walks around judging everyone, and then they cut it to her walking around judging every motherfucker in there, and she does not hold back. And let me tell you, the phrase that pops into my mind is those who live in glass houses.
Because do they accuse each other of being tacky?
Yes. And hers was it was international travel was theme, and she did this like jungle safari theme, but wanted to do it like speaking out against poaching, but then had a bunch of taxidermy animals that she owns, which is odd. And so she decorated with taxidermy animals and bullets and wrote the menu in like blood, red paint to look like blood. It's bizarre. It's all over the place. And just people getting mad at each other for the dumbest things. But one of the funniest characters was this woman who it's her and her husband, but her husband's only role is like taking photos and lugging stuff around and saying yes dear, and he's
Adam.
like definitely was like the happy wife happy life thing, like right. He was like, I learned that I got to take a lot of photos. That's my job here. I know what I'm supposed to do. And like she went through and there were like 740. And she was like, oh, don't like this one. Don't like this one. I was like, oh my God, this lady is too much. Then she says she had she currently has 8 tables in her home of these round table setup.
Amazing.
Her daughter had a baby shower. It was like, she has 2 daughters who were like being interviewed for it, and the one was like, yeah, just had a baby shower for my sister. Mom brought out all of her tables, and we spent more time talking about that than we did it was like that. Then the last scene is her the husband making the bed, and there is a table at the foot of their bed, that in their bedroom there is I hate it. Oh,
this is disgusting.
I was like, this is. I couldn't imagine.
You know how I always say, like, fringe behavior can help illuminate less extreme behaviors that we all have that are unsavory.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And this is that where like we all put our focus on all kinds of shit that does not matter.
Oh, what a good point.
You know?
It doesn't. And the you know what? That is so true. And I can remember arguments I've gotten in about there. I'm like, this doesn't fucking matter at all.
Right. But like we all have those things, but some are more obvious than others.
Yeah.
Because this can even happen within parenting. And a lot of time parents get away with it because it's like about parenting. Kids matter. That's all that matters. Right. Family, fuck. A lot of it's just tablescaping.
A lot of it is just fucking tablescaping.
It is. And we get tricked.
You know what? The woman who won in the end did a clean, simplistic, classic style that like,
yeah.
You know?
Elegant.
There you go.
Oh my God.
No need for all the...
Was the lady with the blood taxidermies?
Yeah.
Was she sad? Like, or did she feel like she was robbed?
Robbed.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, Susie, you have to see it. You really do, because you're going to be like, this is so stupid.
And
there are villains, you know, and it's just so good. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you for paying 99 cents for that, because
You're welcome.
that
I had to.
money well spent.
I had to. And you could feel free, log on my Discovery Plus. You could, I got 3 months for 99 cents or something. So it was worth it for us.
So funny. Okay, before, I know this is your episode, but I have to tell you something. Maybe you even saw it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. But I'm delighted because I love it when like people get so into something and like, you know, obsess about it, and then it turns out it's like a bunch of malarkey.
I can't wait to hear what you're going to say. This could be so many things. This is so fun.
Well, did you happen to see that a scholar decided that they wanted to like, they study supercentenarians, you know, these like...
Okay, people who live over
super
100.
old
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And they were documenting like everybody in the world that's over like, I don't know, 110 or something.
Yeah. Ooh.
And so they were, you know, the boring scholarly work where it's just like tedium.
Right.
And in so doing, they found that all these blue zones that people won't shut the fuck up about.
Oh, I can't wait for this. What?
It just so happens that those places, the blue zones where all these like people will live forever. Because they're just like hauling rice and whatever the
Walking
fuck
up
else.
the stairs. Yeah.
It turns out those areas have something in common. That is, they do not keep great records.
Oh.
They have a shit ton of corruption. Most of the time, there are no birth certificates and no death certificates. So what we learn is they're not that old in the end. These people are not supercentenarians.
Huh.
That we were just so into this idea.
Okay. This
that
is
nobody bothered to check.
This is, Susie, this is kind of like what I was saying in a weird way about that Feather Thief book, where it makes me think these things that we get really fixated on, that years later we look back and we're like, that was ridiculous. Remember when we like spent so much, and we realized that it was almost to our detriment, or like a waste of, you know, I don't know. It feels like if we're all getting stressed out trying to find out what it is that makes us live the longest, we are shortening our lives in doing so.
That's right. And the Arnold always talks about that in the Pump Club, about how like people can get so fixated on the minutia and doing it perfectly, like not messing up, quote unquote, whatever they're eating or their reps or their exercise routine, that then it's self-defeating.
Yep.
And then they end up giving up.
Right.
Or just like stressing over it, which is terrible for your health.
Totally.
And I think that in this case, it's just evidence of the way that we don't want to die. Like, we're all here. We don't know how we got here.
Right.
We don't know what's happening. We don't know how long we have.
Correct.
And so we all want someone to just tell us what to do so that we can like hack our
in
lives.
a weird way, we've switched from like religion and we're people, I'm one of them who's like, science is my religion. Yeah. But if it becomes like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like almost like fanatical or like, then you lose sight of the big picture. Yeah. Maybe.
Absolutely.
Then it's
Remember
a problem.
How I always say, done is better than perfect.
Always.
Yeah.
I tell myself that 10 times a day.
And I say it because I'm like that too, where like you can get like bogged down in this, like, it has to be perfect. It has to be excellent. But wouldn't it be better if we just did it?
Yeah. And who cares?
Yeah. And I feel like people do that with their diets. People do that with like their exercise and everything in their life, really.
Oh,
and so we became like, we were so romantic about this idea that these rural societies have they get it. They have the secrets that we're so stupid. We're staring at our screens eating Doritos, nacho and Cool Ranch, and that we are so pathetic. We should look to these like special exotic people for the wisdom. And not that they don't have any. Right. Like those things that they're doing.
Great. Wonderful. Yeah. But they're not maybe unique to those places that
and it's not a magic bullet.
Right. It totally isn't.
Because, they might actually be fucking 84 and not 115.
Yeah. My brother, there was a lot of confusion about how old he was for a long time. We were like, what the fuck year were you born?
Seriously.
Because he's one of we all know that we're 3 years apart, but he's one of those ones where he's September and I'm February. Yeah. So sometimes it's 3 and sometimes it's 2, depending on how you're adding. And we'll always be like, what the hell year were you born? And then I think for at one period of time, his driver's license or something had the wrong year.
Yeah.
And we are all like, we don't know what year he was born. Well, I mean, we do now. 89, I think.
My grandpa, there was like a 5-year range. We weren't sure what year he was born, how old he was when he died. And even in this article, this was in theconversation.com, this scholar said people lose track of their age, including like people that are only in their midlife or like.
Please, I lose track of my age. I was just about to say, I'm like, my grandma barely remembered what name to call me. Yeah. You think she's going to remember how old she is?
Yeah, it all blurs together.
Right.
For real. And so I think that when you're a kid, that's inconceivable because you're 11 or whatever age.
11 3/4.
Yeah. And the idea that like an old person could not be sure, you're like, what the fuck?
What do you mean? But you count on your fingers.
Get it. Yeah, right. And so this just delighted me because I love when you because the truth is nobody actually had done like an actual study on these people. Right. It was anecdotal.
This is the same as that 10,000 hours thing.
Yeah.
When you really look into that and we're like, okay, but I can practice basketball for 10,000 hours. I'm not getting into the NBA. Sorry about it.
Yeah. And that anytime something's really tidy.
Yes.
It's probably not exactly accurate.
Yeah, and it's almost like the opposite of Occam's razor.
And we talked about it recently, that thing about how like a lie is spread so much faster than the truth.
Yep.
Because this is like, well, yeah, they probably did some things right, but they also don't have a birth certificate, so we don't know what age. That's harder to like share on Netflix documentaries.
Absolutely. All of those. There's a great... Do you remember the show Arliss that was on HBO a long time ago? I can't remember the name of the actor. I'm going to look it up. But this actor did it was like the history of the United States. And it was on HBO, and it was like a one-man show. What was his name? Robert Wuhl, Wuhl.
Okay.
Yeah, and he did this amazing one-man show that was all about the history of the United States, but told comparing the truth with the fictional story that we tell. Mm-hmm. And he did it. It was like I think he was a guest lecturer at a college, and this was it was filmed, and it was his guest lecture at the college, and it was so genius. I'm going to find that and send it to you.
Yeah, because I mean, those stories are useful. They can be useful to sort of have an easy way to share information.
Yeah.
That like moving your body is better than not, or eating plants is better than eating Cheetos. Those are useful little bullet points. But they like mythologized these people and acted like they had just like this pixie dust that we all should strive for. And it's like, okay, maybe they did, but maybe they just didn't count their age properly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And
now that I think of those places, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okinawa, we bombed the hell out of them. They don't have files. We ruined
Loma
them.
Linda, that is a very conservative religious sect of, what are they called? Who are they? In Loma Linda, it is the
Buddhists?
Who are the ones who like to do walks on Seventh Day? Not Seventh Day Adventists. What are the
Walks?
They go for a walk on Sunday. And they don't do any work at Sundays. Like they're all about. Oh my God, Loma Linda is
Christian Scientists.
Nah, no, I can't remember.
Moonies.
What if that is?
But
Yeah.
I just was like, OMG, I have to tell Sarah about this because
Seventh Day Adventist. I was right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, on the seventh day they walked. What are they?
I actually didn't even know that.
Yeah, they're all. I think. Yeah, it's like a thing where on Sunday they like go for like.
Well, they think it's Saturday is the Sabbath, but...
or Saturday. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Saturday they go for like nature walks or something.
Oh, that's nice of them.
Yeah, it is really cute.
Well, if they lived in blue zones, they'd be doing that without birth certificates. That's all I know.
Yeah. And that show I was talking about is called Assume the Position with Mr. Wuhl, Wuhl. And it's a 2-part comedy and documentary show on HBO that looks at the facts and myths of American history in a comedic view. It's
That's
so
cool.
good. You should definitely check it out. And he talks super fast. So if you have ADHD, it's like a dream.
It's like drugs.
Yeah, it's like watching something on fast forward. It's great. Yeah.
That's a good tip. I've never even heard of that.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to love it, Suze.
All right. I just wanted to tell you that. And it's, again, I just want to reiterate.
What a treat.
I love like the learning about other lifestyles
Yes.
and then trying to do the best thing for our bodies and stuff. This is all great. I just don't like when we like romanticize things.
I totally agree. I think that's the big problem is that we romanticize a lot of the stuff. Same as the cold plunging. I feel like those people are like, oh my gosh. And the people who really study it, I'm reading this great book called Open Water Swimming that's all about cold, like swimming in the cold.
Yeah.
You can get the same benefits by like splashing some cold water on your face. Like everybody needs to chill with the whole.
Right. And like if you personally love something, that's awesome. But they often like proselytize and prescribe it to everyone.
And then make you feel like, and then you walk around feeling like if I'm not doing that, there's something wrong with me or I'm not doing enough when don't worry about it. Like that's, if it's good and you like it, then keep doing it. Like it's not a one size fits all model. Hello.
Yeah. Don't stress people.
Yeah. Just chill.
You know,
Just listen to the Brain Candy podcast and chill.
Yeah. That's all. Anywho.
What else? What else?
Maybe one more. I mean.
Okay. Yeah. One more. I know I had so much.
But
this
really,
is just,
whatever you want.
Did I already tell you about 2-star reviews?
No.
Okay, so this is just a good piece of advice.
I'm intrigued though.
This is a good piece of advice that I heard probably on social media, but it was like a long enough video explaining why. Where now I was like, oh, this is brain candy information now. So if you are looking for a place that is really good, look for a place look for the 2-star reviews. Mm-hmm. If you want to find doesn't necessarily have to be a place that only gets 2 stars, but we want to read the 2-star reviews of places.
Yeah,
because
they're the real
2-star
deal.
reviews, they're the one, and you're what you were looking for to know if it's a good place. The service was crap. I hated it. Blah blah blah. But the food was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and because with 2 stars, it means they wanted to give a 1-star review because they were so mad, but they couldn't bring themselves to do it because
there was
the food was delicious.
Yeah.
So that's the place. Those are the coffee shops to go to. Those are all of the Thai restaurants to go to. Go to the pizza places. Go to the place.
That's a good piece of advice.
That's why I thought. That's why I had to bring it here because hello, that's what we do. Just inform the people.
Okay, this will be a good sort of place to leave off because on the next episode, which will be my content, I will talk about a book I read that was by a woman who did the New York Times food reviews.
Okay.
And I felt like I learned so much about like that whole world and kind of what you're saying, how it's like, it seems straightforward. It's 1 to 5 or whatever. Stars.
Right.
And then you get a review, but there's just like more to it.
Okay. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Little
Because
teaser, an
you're
appetizer.
right. Because whenever, are you a person who looks through reviews? What sticks out to
Sometimes.
you when you're doing it? Let's say just for restaurants. Like, what do you look for? Do you care a lot about service or are you more a food
No, I
person?
do not care about service. Whenever they say the service was bad, I'm like, you're probably being a dick. You probably deserved it.
Yeah, right. Okay.
It's like you're the kind of person who's going to come on there and leave a review about it. I know who you are. So I throw away the 1-star and 5-star reviews, and I like look at 2 and 4.
Okay, let me ask you this before we go, and then we'll wrap this up.
Yeah.
We went to Chipotle the other day. And
okay.
you know how Chipotle is always like, you're in line for like a fucking hour.
Okay.
It's not known for its speed.
I would disagree, but that we've had
Maybe
different
it's a
Chipotle
Pitts-
experience. Is it
Maybe it's a
question? Is it
Pittsburgh
because it's a long line?
It's long and it's forever.
Okay, you know what? This is I have not been in a Chipotle with a long line in I can't remember how long. And I think it's because in Denver there's another place called Illegal Pete's that's better. And it's like
See?
Chipotle,
That's
but
an
that does
argument
have a
for
line.
capitalism. Okay. Well, in Pittsburgh, it's every time you're like, we should go to Chipotle, and you're like, oh, and you have to like steel yourself for this horrific experience.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were in line. I was in line for a half hour. Yeah. And it was one of those deals where
that is too long for Chipotle.
yeah, and it's
Okay.
one of these deals where the people working there are like performatively going slow. Like they just do not give a shit. And
Yeah.
like, okay, I get it. Like we all deserve a little kick in the teeth every once in a while. So then I'm paying for my food, and we had asked for like a little side of jalapeno.
Okay. Yeah.
And she goes in the back to get it, and then she comes back and she goes, I can't give you the jalapeno on the side. And I was like, okay, why? And she was like, I just can't. And I was like,
Go
why?
on. Yeah.
And she's like, I just can't. And now we're in a thing.
Why do you have them then? Come on.
And it was on
Now
the
I'm-
sign.
now we're
That's what
fighting.
made me want it. It was on the picture.
Right.
Of like on the menu up top.
Of course.
And I was like, but
Oh my God.
why?
Oh my God.
And she was like, I just can't. And I was like, so we went through this 3 times.
Oh my God.
And then I go, is it a rule or something?
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, it's a rule. And then I just laughed and walked away. And that was the end of that
is
story.
bizarre.
And
I bet you thought about that for a while.
I'm still thinking about it.
I know,
and
obviously,
I have the business
obviously.
card right here of the manager because I'm like, am I going to have to Karen her ass?
So I will say,
Tell me.
Chipotle is the place to complain because they have just a standard free burrito policy.
Well, I could use a free burrito.
Yeah. And go online. You're going to go, because here, listen.
Tell me.
Every now and then, I get I have an unsatisfactory Chipotle experience. It's only happened twice.
It's a thing.
It's only happened twice I've done this, but I've done it. And it both times it was because of stale chips. I'm sorry. Don't serve me those fucking stale chips.
That's so funny.
So I go on their website and it'll say on your receipt, it has the store number. And
She didn't even give me a receipt either, by the way.
Oh, now we have a problem.
But I got the business card.
Yeah. So if you had a receipt, it says enter the store number. You just write a little like boop, 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 what happened. And 9 out of 10, I actually 100% of the time so far with me, you get a free burrito. They'll say free burrito on your next visit. And you have like 30 days to use it.
Yeah,
and it's like a little code.
Shit.
And
I'm going to go back to that
do
same one.
Yep.
And I'm going to stare her down.
Yep.
Because I did enjoy laughing in her face when she said that.
It's insane that they would. That doesn't make any sense. And just say like I failed. I'm confused about your jalapeno policy. I have some questions about the jalapeno policy. I'm totally good with the avocado and the guacamole. Got it. You charge me extra.
All right.
But
well,
let's talk about
like you have to charge you. I would have said sure.
But she didn't continue that's not how you have a conversation.
Thanks, Sarah.
She was failing. Basic. Yeah.
Thanks for walking
me,
through
but
that.
boo her. Yeah.
All right.
Well, that's all I got for you today.
We love you. Thank you, Sarah. That was amazing. You did Cereal Pooper Update. We did the Doritos skins.
Yes, see-through skin. Talked about shyness
cereal.
and the brain. And
That was
cereal.
really interesting. And the tablescaping. Great.
Yeah. All over the place today. Yes. Until next time.
See ya.
Bye.